the only nutrition video you will ever need to watch. Coming up. Crew members, welcome back to the channel, friends. How you doing today? If this is your first time here on this channel though, then make sure you subscribe to the channel now and turn on post notifications, because if you're new to body training calisthenics, then this is your go-to channel if you want to unleash your body's infinite potential. So like I said, make sure you hit that button and turn on that bell. And right, as we did in our previous whiteboard video, we gotta make sure we are hydrated before we get into the good stuff. So without further ado, sweet, we're good to go. So when it comes to nutrition, I want you to think of this like a pyramid. We're gonna go from the bottom up, bottom being the most important and the top being the least important. So, give me some time to sculpt this for you. Voila. Right, I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. I hope you can, most importantly, understand my handwriting, because I do understand, yes, it is bloody dreadful. I was reassured this enough at school, right? So that's why I am writing capital letters, so you can understand it to some extent. And I do just want to mention that, of course, if you want to know even more about nutrition, then I'll leave a link in this card right here to check out my first nutrition video on this YouTube channel, which has got a ton of positive feedback because it's just straight and to the point and no BS. Like this video you're going to watch right now. So, most important we're going to start with is calories. And when we talk about calories, we're also talking about energy. And so the reason why the calories is most important is because the amount of calories you eat relative to the amount of energy you expend is going to determine the composition of your body. So you want to make sure that you're eating sufficient calories based on your goals. So the three ones being obviously losing body fat, maintaining your body weight, or gaining weight, right? So with that said, first of all, with calories, obviously if you want to lose body fat, then you need to be in a calorie deficit. So that would be that you are consuming less calories than you burn in order to lose body fat. If you want to maintain, or what's called kind of known as gaintaining, is obviously if, for me for example, I probably burn around 2,400 calories, 2,400 calories a day. So I eat on average around 2,400 calories a day. It's probably a bit higher than that, but obviously for me, the fact that my weight stays relatively unchanged means that I eat around maintenance calories, right? And particularly for my goal of body weight relative strength, the advanced elements of calisthenics, I don't really want to change too much from my body composition because that will ultimately impact my goals. And then the last point of gaining weight, being in a calorie surplus, if your goal is purely to gain weight and actually gain muscle size, purely muscle size and gaining weight, right, then obviously you will need to eat in a calorie surplus, where that's typically a slight surplus. So pretty much in short, that you will eat more calories than you burn. And then with calories done, actually this kind of let's get a bit of fun in here. So as we've got that covered, right, checkmate. Actually, we're gonna get really fancy here. We're gonna do two, right? We've done calories. Now it's on macronutrients. So we know with macronutrients, 3 macronutrients, and that is proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And again, in that past nutrition video, I kind of talk all about them in more depth, but pretty much when it comes to protein, in order to build and repair muscle tissue, we need to make sure we're eating an adequate amount of protein. Carbohydrates, our body needs a sufficient amount of glucose to run optimally, and then with fats, hormonal function and keeping those testosterone levels up high. So pretty much going kind of back to calories, with these 3 macronutrients, protein is 4 calories per gram, carbohydrates is 4 calories per gram as well, whereas fats, the most calorically dense out of the 3, is 9 calories per gram. And in terms of how much you should eat of which, based on how many calories you consume throughout a day, protein, a good rule of thumb is 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for me, right now I'm just over 150 pounds, but let's just keep it simple, right? 150 pounds, that would be around I haven't done math since GCSEs, mate. Around 105 to 105 to 150 grams of protein on average per day. For me, I go a bit on the lower side of that, 0.7, 0.8. per gram body weight. And then in terms of the carbs and the fats ratio, that really comes down to experimentation. Like, everyone's very different. People kind of crave carbohydrates more than others, whereas, you know, for me recently, I've been experimenting more with a higher fat diet, and I am feeling absolutely fantastic. But of course, what I'm doing may not necessarily be what you want to do. So again, it's all about experimenting, seeing what works best for you, and always remember that imperfect action always beats perfect inaction. Take massive action, my friend. That's how you're going to get results. You're not going to get results by procrastinating and just doing absolutely nothing. Checkmate. Right, macronutrients done. We're going to talk about micronutrients. So we know, of course, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff. Eat your fruits and vegetables is basically what I'm saying, my friend. We need a good amount of micronutrients in our diet and our nutrition in order for our body to really, you know, perform optimally for general health and longevity. Really, one thing I like to say to my clients, which of course they don't really have any trouble with when I coach them, is, you know, eating really good, high quality, nutritious whole foods. And so really you want to think of almost like feeding your body rather than your mind, right? Most of us, when we start out, our mind craves all these empty type of calories, which of course you can treat yourself from time to time. You are a human being after all, but ultimately you want to be eating those good, healthy whole foods that contain lovely, jubbly micronutrients. Now, meal timing. Oh my word. This gets way more debate than it deserves, right? But really, meal timing, like, although it is kind of, it's not essential, right? The reason why I may say it is important to some extent is consistency, really, of like building habit. Because obviously when you want to kind of actually maintaining a healthy style of living, it's much easier to adhere to your nutrition plan when you personally actually set out times of the day that that you want to eat that best suits your schedule, right? Obviously, like, my schedule is completely different to yours. My schedule is completely, like, all of our schedules, all in all, is completely different. So, like, for me and some of my clients, we do intermittent fasting because that serves our schedule best, that we can adhere to, whereas other people, they don't want to do intermittent fasting. So they would rather have breakfast because it best suits their schedule. So if we take my example, for me, I'm doing intermittent fasting right now. So I typically have my first meal at 10:30, not 10:30, I mean 12:30. I then have my second meal about 4 p.m. and then I have my third meal about, you know, 7:30 in the evening. And for me, when I kind of like set times, not in a way of like, I gotta eat at this time, otherwise I'm gonna freaking lose muscle or gain fat, right? It's not that, it's the fact of building consistency so that you can adhere to the right habits, because we know, of course, consistency in fitness and health is absolutely critical to our success. So remember, meal timing, it's not essential, right? But the only reason I point it out is because if you can better adhere to your nutrition plan by setting yourself times to eat throughout the day that best suits your schedule, that's how you're going to gain more results in return, my friend. And then last, oh man, supplementation. I just now, you know, I have actually, although this is at the top, meaning it's the least important, I have actually left like quite a big gap. But man, this is literally like 1%, even that, right? Maybe even like 0.5%, literally, because supplements, like the name is kind of suggested in itself. Like, I know for a fact, obviously, I kind of like thought I needed supplements when I first began my fitness journey, but when like I kind of look at it now, it's like, well, supplement, it's kind of in the name itself. Like, it's a supplement, so obviously it's not essential, is it? Because it would be called an essential rather than a supplement. You know what I mean? So that's my point. Supplements are not essential, right? Like, this a base, your quality nutrition plan, nutritious whole foods, is how you're literally going to gain all those results. And then supplements are just that extra little edge, right? That maybe as you gain more experience, build more muscle and such, like that's where you may want that little extra edge. And yes, I have taken some supplements in the past, but right now, as of this recording, like I am, you know, at my kind of like peak shape in terms of strength and physical appearance, right? and I'm taking no supplements whatsoever, right? It's all natural, right? So it just goes to show that supplements, you really don't need them. But if I had to, like, the only ones I've actually used which like have worked for me is whey protein powder, which technically isn't actually a supplement, it's just a byproduct of dairy, and then 2 creatine monohydrate. Simple. Oh, and like suggestion my protein are the only people I've like used for that purpose, and they are excellent providers. But for now, no supplements for me, and you know, I don't really talk about it much to my clients either because they don't really need it either. And then actually, as that is done, all right, well, 2 more areas I'd like to discuss with you very briefly, right? And we're gonna have one at the top and one at the bottom. No particular order, we're just gonna make the pyramid look fancy, right? So here, we're gonna have water, right? And water, well, oh, the red has gone into the blue, damn it. Anyway, water. Why do I stress the importance of water? Well, our body is 70% water. And also, obviously a lot of people, when they start eating good, they may feel like, oh, like Jake, I'm always so hungry, man. If you're not hungry, my friend, you're thirsty. Your body is craving for water, not those foods. And so really, like, I personally don't track my water because I drink a lot of water anyway. But really, if you wanted a simple calculator, you could divide your body weight in half, that is, add 15, and that in ounces is the minimum you should be drinking daily. And then lastly, sleep, especially if your goal is to build lean muscle and melt off excess fat. You, my friend, are most anabolic during deep periods of sleep. So man, you could be all day looking for the perfect workout routine to building muscle and the perfect nutrition plan and the diet that shreds off fat. But man, do you know the thing that's gonna really accelerate both of those? Sleep. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep is a good rule of thumb. Make sure, like, seriously, like, just honestly, if you really don't believe me, I want you to almost like track your mood, your energy, and your productivity weekly, and you'll realize there's a very common trend in your mood, your performance, and your productivity, right? When you don't sleep much versus when you sleep a lot. So that's pretty much that, my friend. Sleep 7 to 9 hours. 8 hours is a good rule of thumb. 7 to 8, 9 if you're feeling cheeky. Just 7 to 9 hours is a good rule of thumb. And so yeah, that is pretty much it. If you literally follow all of this, your nutrition plan, my friend, is going to be absolutely fantastic. And you know, knowing is good, but it's actually applying it where you are going to gain results, my friend. So when I said if you enjoyed this video, you like if you like my content, you enjoyed watching every single minute, every single second of this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below that this video Kevin could hand you. And more specifically, comment down below which area, which part of this video you found most helpful. I'd love to know and be curious to know. And so, as that's enough for me today, I've enjoyed the rest of your day, my friend, and as a crew member of the Gain Express, keep moving forward.